and welcome to the very first call of our new retreat. Yay! I'm so excited. This is round 2. Is it June 1st yet, or is it still May 31st?
May 31st.
May 31st. Oh my gosh, we're almost halfway through the year. Christmas is in 6 months. So what I want to do tonight is I want to review with you guys just kind of the agenda real quick. And then we're going to leave with some action points, all right? And then we're going to kind of move into, I want to give you my quick rundown of stillness and how I found all of this. And then we will talk about setting goals. And I love this goal setting stuff because it ends up being not the traditional goal setting. So I'm really excited about that. So just to review the week 1 agenda. So we talked about, I'm trying to find it on my phone real quick. We talked about decluttering, right? Just finding and it can be your bed. You just a space where you can go to by yourself. Gina, that was a great post, by the way.
Thank you.
And I put on here that we also have a writing assignment on how to tell your story, and I didn't want to give you guys that just yet. I decided because I'm probably going to post it tomorrow, but this is a way to, you don't have to share either. It's just a way to put where you come from on paper and maybe add in how you feel about that. And it's very powerful coming into the next week. So please try to get that done by next Monday. Will you die if you don't? No. It'll be all right. It'll just make it a little easier. So, and then we started the 5-day plant-based reset. I know some people started earlier and some people are going to start later. You can start it at any time you want. But that really is a way to just cleanse your body. And I hope y'all are feeling really good on that. Christy, are you doing that? Because I know that you're doing the elimination diet right now.
Yeah, and I was actually bad the last 2 days. So I'm starting it tomorrow.
Okay.
Basically. And I can tell a difference. Like I had gluten Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday. Because we were on the go and we went to Burger King and I wanted the original chicken sandwich. And I haven't had gluten probably for a good 2 weeks, and I'm still like feeling full and just kind of gunky. Yeah.
Cool.
So total restart tomorrow.
Excellent. And keep in mind, guys, and you know, that Facebook page, Gina posted something about her, reset, and post what you want on there about anything. All right. Even if it's about yourself. The last time we did this, people were posting about, trials and tribulations and celebrating even the smallest successes. I was telling Christy before we got on that group is really meant to build community. So I want you to feel like that is your Facebook group. You belong in there. All right. So own it and feel free to write whatever you want there. There is no right and wrong. Let me ask you guys another question. How does 8:30 p.m. work for y'all?
It works good.
On Wednesdays?
Works good for you, Kath? Yeah, on Wednesdays.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. So, okay, just want to make sure that everybody's okay with that. And let's see, something that I have not told y'all about, and I'm going to post about it after this. There is a book that I highly recommend for the retreat, and it is called The Untethered Soul. And let me show it to you. Of course, it's not here because I've been reading it, and it's in one of my 1,000 purses. But I'll post it. It's called The Untethered Soul, and it really kind of follows this retreat along through all the 4 phases of the retreat. And the people that read it on the retreat last time seemed to dig a little bit deeper into themselves, into the lessons. So I highly recommend reading that book. It's a fantastic read. I have never heard of anybody reading it and saying this absolutely sucked or this was not worth my time. It's mind changing. So consider buying that book and reading that along with it during the retreat. So I want to first of all kind of give you a rundown of how all this began with me. I have been in the fitness industry for 11 years now, and I started out as a personal trainer, and then I kind of moved into this, but I've always been one of those people that have to be doing something to feel productive. I'm a doer. If I don't feel productive, then I get depressed. And so I was constantly doing. I've had all these great ideas. Well, I thought they were great. And I would put them into fruition. I would get it done. But everything at the end, nothing was really fulfilling to me. So I tried to be a personal trainer one-on-one. That ended up not working. That was a really tough job. And then I joined a MLM company, which I absolutely love, but it wasn't really truly what I wanted to do. Then I created something, I was going to do some branding for Facebook, like teaching people how to brand themselves. And then I realized that I wasn't, I didn't want to be on Facebook that much. So everything, I was doing it, but nothing felt right. And so I kind of felt like all these things were failures. And then in 2015, I decided that I was going to stop trying so hard. I found stillness. I stopped working so hard on doing what I think I should do. And I just got quiet. I got quiet within myself. I started meditating. I started doing some visualizations, more reading. I did more work on me instead of just reading a bunch of personal development books, if that makes sense. And so what I found was clarity. I found clarity in what I actually wanted to do with my life. And then from that, I was able to find more productivity because I knew what to do with my time. I knew how to schedule my time and where I needed to put my efforts. I knew what my priorities were. And then therefore I knew how to create my goals because of those priorities, but none of that would have happened. I would have still been scampering all over the place if I wouldn't have almost just said, I can't do this. I can't keep trying so hard. I've got to be still with myself. And over the course of the retreat, that's what we're going to be talking about, is what that actually means and how to do it and how to implement it for yourself. So even if this round, if at the very end you say, I'm on the right path, that is success. Because, I wasn't even actually going to do goals at first with this retreat. I wasn't going to do goals and priorities because I was so tired of all the personal development that taught me how to do that, and none of it ever worked. But the problem is that I didn't even know how to make a goal because I didn't know what I really wanted. Does that make sense, you guys? Like I couldn't find that clarity until I got still. Then I could make the goals easier. And so what I found was that I could create a way to kind of remap this goal setting stuff, and kind of by retraining the brain. So the first exercise that we're going to do with this goal setting, it's pretty traditional, but you're going to see how your thought and mindset kind of evolves around those goals as we begin to add on throughout the weeks. So at the end, the content that you're going to create on this particular exercise, because we're going to do it every week, it's going to be different because we're going to learn to rewire our brains and think differently. And I am a true believer that if we want to change, we have to be willing to change, and we have to work for that change. And I have found that just reading a bunch of personal development books doesn't help me, because it does now, but I didn't know what to do with all of that. Everybody says implement it, but I didn't have a goal or a purpose to implement. So it was really difficult for me. So that is kind of where we're going to take this retreat. And another thing is that last retreat, we had talked about making quantifiable. So you know how, like, if you are doing your nutritional or proper nutritional input, you can measure your goals by weight loss, fat burn, and gaining energy. Those are all quantifiable goals. But how are we going to measure our success within this retreat? And this exercise is one of the first exercises that really blew my mind, from doing at the beginning of the retreat to the end of the retreat, and making me realize how much we all grew just in the 5 weeks. This is only a 4-week retreat, but the first one was 5 weeks. So what you're going to be doing at the end of the retreat is this, maybe the same exercise, but it's going to be completely different because of the stuff you're discovering within the retreat. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So essentially we're trying to change our behaviors, and it's really hard to change our behaviors unless we change our thought patterns, unless we change our perspective on things. And changing your perspective does not mean you have to stray from who you are. It just means looking at it in a different way and maybe thinking about it in a different way. And I find that being still is really important for that. And when I think more so when I say changing perspective, it just means seeing that you have no limits, because we are so bound by limits from our fears and our stress. And once we change that and realize that we have no limits, we can find our purpose. We can find greater productivity with doing a lot less. That sounds pretty cool, right? So, y'all ready for the first exercise?
Yes.
Did y'all bring pen and paper?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to have a piece of paper, just a white piece of paper. Or it doesn't have to be white. I don't know why I said white. Just any piece of paper. And you're going to fold it in half, long-wise.
Okay. I don't have to.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are we just making a list?
Huh?
We're making a list?
Yes.
Okay.
And on one side, you're going to write
airplane or something.
You're like, you can read too many of those crazy books. One side, you're going to write your goals, and the other side, you're going to write your priorities.
Okay.
So just don't write them out just yet. Don't write them out. Just want you to write the outline. So goals, priorities. Then we're going to move down to the bottom, and we're going to write our roles in life, and then number it 1 through 5.
Okay.
So like I said earlier, I found it so freaking difficult to make a goal. So difficult. And that was because I didn't know where to focus my attention. And I didn't know where to focus my attention because I didn't know what I truly wanted, or what I could truly offer people from my heart. Now, the first thing that I want you to do is think about the 5 roles in your life. So my roles in life, just for example, would be mom, wife, teacher, student, business owner. And I did that fast because I've done this before. So if you don't get it all right now, it's all good.
Friend. Where's Christy? What happened to Christy?
I guess she had a car full of kids.
Okay.
She might be in the transition of getting home.
Okay.
Does anybody want to share?
Sure. I'll share.
Okay.
I've got 4.
Okay, that's great. What else?
Number 1, mom. Number 2, daughter. Number 3, friend. And number 4, encourager.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Encourager for who?
For everybody that I come in contact with.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Have you always been like that?
No. I would say no. No. Mm-mm.
Is it something that you just started recently?
I wouldn't say recently. I'd say when I became more spiritual, I was able to become more of an encourager.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Anybody else want to share?
I'll share.
Okay.
Mine's a wife, a mother, a business owner, a teacher, and a provider.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy, I know your story, and I find your story very similar to my mom in a lot of ways, and I like how you put yourself as a provider separate from a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome.
Christy, you down?
I have 4: mom, mom, wife, coworker, and stepmom.
Okay.
Coworker. I mean, I don't know how else to put that, but
No, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
and family member. I thought that was kind of too broad, but I
Well,
guess.
I mean, if I mean being a family member implies responsibility, then that's kind of where we're going with this, because the next thing I want to write down is the priorities. And so the priorities within those roles in your life. And guys, don't think you have to do all this right now. This is just a start. I want you to spend the week thinking about it, changing it up if you want. First time I did this, like it was like all over the place, crazy. Just So just write down a couple priorities and somebody share with us.
Like, and when you mean priorities, like, that's pretty broad. Like, priorities now, priorities in the future, current priorities. Am I thinking too much about it?
Well, let's think about what a priority is. A priority is something that is number one on your mind.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So maybe just start with a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we finish goals, you'll see kind of where we're going with this.
Okay.
Or is it like also like something that is important to us that we need to put it as a priority to work towards it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whatever is important to you. And then go ahead and write down maybe 1 or 2 short-term goals and 1 or 2 long-term goals for now.
Okay.
Does anybody want to share them?
I'll share mine. For my priorities is my health, finding, exercising, eating clean. My short-term goal would be start eating clean right away. And my long-term goal is I've always wanted to run a half marathon.
I love that. That's awesome. So let's just start here. And one of the things, it'll become a little bit more clear as you kind of write them down, and maybe you even start to change how you think about goals and priorities at this point. So you had mentioned that your goal was to eat clean, long-term goal to run a half marathon. And so what I do is I draw a line from, like, I would draw a line from my goal to the priority it matches. And then if there's a line there, then that means my goals and priorities are consistent with each other. And then I go down into my roles in life and I figure out where they fit within those roles in life. So where would you say that fits in your role in life?
Probably as a wife. Probably in all of them, though, really. Because, I mean, I can see, I want to stay, I want to be healthy for really all of those that I put in the roles in my life.
I can see that. I would agree with that. And I think it's pretty interesting how your first priorities that you thought of and your first goals that you thought of were all important to all roles of your life. Right? They're that important. So do you do that every day?
Do I do all of this every day?
Yeah. Do you eat clean every day?
No. That's why it's going to be a goal.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Right. Because I need to stop making excuses. Oh, it's like, okay, we'll start on Sunday. Okay, we'll start on Monday. This past week, we started today. It was Wednesday. We just started. Exercising. I like to get up in the morning and we walk. So I like to do that. I'm an early riser, so I like to do that. And my health, I guess it kind of all goes into one, really, being healthy.
Yeah. Keep this in front of you throughout the day, you guys, because I'm a huge advocate of writing down goals. So I have my goals over here on a whiteboard in my office. And I do that because the more times we can see it, the more it'll get embedded in our subconscious and we can retrain our brain to think towards those goals, think towards those priorities. And if we know our priorities and those goals don't align with the priorities, then what are we doing? We're kind of wasting our time. Maybe.
Yeah.
Christy, do you want to share?
My stuff seems all over the place. One of them was the eating healthy and my, of course, on the priorities, my health. But another one that's real important for me is getting my house clean. It's just cluttered like crazy. And so, of course, the goal is to declutter my house.
Yeah.
One room at a time. Kitchens first. Which I started today.
That's a good place to start.
But I started.
That's a great place to start. That's awesome. So are you kind of, with all of them, just kind of connect the dots and see, make sure those priorities and the goals align? Because later we're going to start talking about time, and, getting this clear will tell us exactly where we need to put our time. But we have to make sure that it's benefiting one of those roles in our life, and that's not being selfish. That's just how it is. That's part of us being 100%. Gina, you want to share, girlfriend?
Yeah. So my priorities are number 1, my son, number 2, my health, number 3, my job, number 4, my relationships, number 5, my spirituality, and number 6, my family. So I've got 2 goals. I probably need to marinate on those a little bit longer. But number 1 is to become more physically fit. When I say that, I mean not so much lose weight, but have more muscle mass.
Okay.
So that's a goal. And then also I'd love I've always had a goal of meditating daily. Either 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but making it just like brushing your teeth, making it a daily thing I do either in the morning as I rise or in the evening. But that's a goal. That's a big goal. Yeah.
That's great. And that perfectly aligns with that spirituality.
Yeah, it does. It sure does.
That's great.
Yeah.
So Christina Cutler, I'm assuming that you've got kids crawling all over you because you were in the car earlier. She muted herself. Yeah, we're laughing at you, Christy.
Poor baby.
So as we go through the week, I mean, yes, these are pretty broad goals, but start to think about how you can make these goals happen, right? So now once you have them all aligned, let's start really focusing on how you can make them happen. And so we'll just kind of get smaller and smaller with them. And again, it's not tonight that we do this. Mm-hmm. And I like to even sometimes write a big fat hairy goal of what that looks like for me, and then work my way backwards, just kind of deconstruct it a little bit. And again, that's pretty traditional way to create goals. So in the long run, what is our big fat hairy goal? And are we doing what we need to do consistently to get there? Is it truly what we want? And that's kind of where we're going with all of this. So this is going to be week 1, and then we're going to do it again next week, but we're going to on Sunday, but you're going to add something on Sunday. So I can't tell you what that is yet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But if you read the outline, you'll be able to see it. Hey, so on that outline, I have it set up on a Google Docs. So that means anything I change, you guys are going to be able to see. And I did add today or maybe yesterday, how to write your story. So take a moment, it's at the very end, check that out and start writing your story. There's a couple ways you can do this, guys. How I did it is I wrote my entire story the first time through voice recognition, just so I didn't have to write it out. It was just like I was talking to a friend, and then I went back and tried to understand what the hell Siri, how he interpreted that, my Australian Siri. And then, so that worked. Or you can type it out, and you never have to share that, all right? But that is something that I want y'all to start thinking about a little bit, and just, if anything, writing it out for you. So check that out next. That's kind of the next thing. And then I am going to wrap this up with next week. Of course, we're going to get to questions in just a second. I want to make sure that I covered everything here real quick.
There she is.
Christy emerge.
I think she's still driving. I think she's muted.
She is. She muted herself.
Okay.
So before we go into week 2, guys, what questions do you have about this? What concerns do you have, if any? I mean, just, do you want to discuss anything on your sheet? I think I literally heard crickets.
I think I do.
We don't have to, guys. I mean, it's up to you.
Turn left onto South Street.
Siri speaks before any of us.
In
So
1.6
kind of
Okay,
mold.
so what's on the
Kroger
in the near future agenda for the rest of the week?
Okay.
Maybe I can look. Maybe I should just look at my agenda.
I'm pulling it up. Hold on.
Okay.
So on week 2. Tomorrow we are going to do an introduction to stillness and awareness. I'm going to do a quick video on it.
Okay.
But that is the workbook that is in your agenda,
Okay.
your overview.
Okay.
And that's a workbook that it just gets your brain jogging, writing down maybe what you think stillness is, what you think mindfulness is, giving you ways to be mindful throughout the day. And then on Friday, we're going to have an introduction to yoga, and that's going to be a video on Facebook.
Okay.
And we're going to be focusing on what the difference is between yin yoga and regular yoga. And, you know, I'm not going to get really into the past. I'm just going to kind of generalize what the two are and then talk about the importance of yin, because this whole retreat is about stillness. And so I want, hold on, there we go. I want you guys to really be able to utilize yin yoga. My thing is all jacked up again. And then let's move on. On Sunday, we're going to be doing this lesson again. And you're just going to kind of be doing it on your own. I'm going to make a post about it, but we're going to try to get a little bit more detailed in it. And we're going to add that one thing. And then the next week, we're going to move a little bit deeper into meditation and visualization and identifying virtues. Next week's a lot of discovery. And that's why that story is so important at this point, to take the time to write that down. All right? Don't worry about grammar and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what time on Saturday and Sunday?
That is just going to be stuff that I'm going to post.
Okay. It just say support on meal plan and live.
Say that again. You kind of.
What said support on meal plan and live an interactive yoga class. So that's just, you're just going to post that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna, yeah, and again, this is where that Facebook group comes into such play, because, you know, I've been talking to each of you personally, but that interactive face group is to really post stuff about the meal plan, see how you're doing, almost kind of like a check-in. And even if you're doing shitty, like, let us know, because we're your support group. You know, that's what we're here for. And we can help you troubleshoot. And then the interactive yoga class is, I want to do actually a live class to where y'all can ask questions and stuff as I'm doing the class. But I did that last retreat, and on a Saturday, honestly, that was really hard for people to get to on a Saturday.
It is.
So I think what I'm going to do is just post a class, like just a routine for you. A yin routine. And if you've ever seen a yin video, it's boring because we hold poses for so long. So what it's probably going to be is yeah, that's what we'll do. I'll do this yin program that I put together for the lower back. I'll give that to you guys. Well, I'm glad I talked that out, because Saturdays didn't work out well last time. And then tools for a successful retreat, it's just going to be a handout. That's it.
Cool.
So we only meet once a week then?
We meet, this week was only once a week.
Okay.
And then next week, we're going to start our Tuesday, Thursday morning.
Okay.
And so we didn't start that this week because there is yin yoga involved. And I wanted to tell y'all what the heck yin yoga was, but it didn't fall in the timeline just right. So we'll start it next week and then do it for the next 3 weeks.
And what time is Tuesday and Thursday?
6 o'clock, 6 a.m.
Okay, perfect.
6 a.m. to 6:25. And then the first week, we're not going to actually do meditation next Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to do visualization of our day. Then we'll have a better grasp on what meditation is next week during that discovery phase. And then we'll move on to meditation the third and fourth week. Cool. All right, guys. Any other questions?
And then,
I finally made it to service, and I caught like 5 minutes of it while y'all were talking earlier. So I will catch that recording if you'll post it in a group.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Christy, it takes a little bit to download on Zoom.
Okay.
So if it's not, it's going to be later tonight or tomorrow morning. One of the two.
Okay.
Cool.
Good stuff.
here's a good book for decluttering. It's The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that by that
Marie
Asian
Kondo.
woman?
But
Yeah,
it's
Marie
the
Kondo.
Japanese art of decluttering and organization. I read the whole book and it was awesome.
Really? Okay.
I've got it
Say
too.
it again. Life-changing.
Magic
It's
of
the
tidying up.
The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up.
Yeah.
My house has been tidied up since about a year already.
Wow.
Yeah,
And so it's awesome.
it's a good book.
Thank you. Let's, do you mind, Kathy, do you have a second to post that on our Facebook group?
Yes, I will.
That'd be great. Thank you.
It's $9.99 on Amazon.
I have bought what I imagined would be an amazing decluttering book too. I just haven't read it yet. Like a year and a half ago. I'm gonna declutter y'all. Okay, so I have to, Erica, you'll appreciate this. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post. So today, I didn't have service because I'm driving in BFE back from all over the world. Because today, the second day of our retreat, I had to bring the kids to College Station for their doctor's appointments. And so since I was going to be in College Station, I said, well, I may as well go ahead and take those beds to my nephew in Temple. So I went ahead and cut over to Temple. My dad needed some medicine that had been shipped to the house. He just had surgery. So I was like, well, I'll just cut over to Conroe. So I went from College Station to Temple, back to College Station to Conroe, and now I'm on my way home because I'm a dumbass who doesn't say no. And people don't even ask me to do this stuff. I just make this stuff up. And I'm like, hey, that would be a great idea. So if anyone wonders like just how spastic you can be and really need this program, that's it.
That's that pinball game that goes on your head with your thoughts. And man, and you're a doer, so you put those thoughts into action.
Maybe.
We're going to get you to slow down. So when you have those thoughts, you can be like, okay.
People try to talk me out of it. Josh, my mom, everyone's like, I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should do. I was like, yeah, it's great. It's a good plan.
Well, you made it. You lived. You're alive.
Okay, I just posted it, so it's posted to the group.
Thank you. That's awesome. Hey, Christy, slow your roll, girl.
I am okay. So I did have, and this is totally relevant to the group. I'm doing present over perfect. I'm not reading because I don't have time for that, but I'm doing the Audible, and that totally happens. So present over perfect, and it is just about stopping, just the bullshit. And I had this moment where I was listening and it just occurred to me and I was thinking, you're posting about our damn story. Like it makes me need to throw up a little bit because I've done Boeson and I've done my story and I can't write a freaking story. I don't know who, it just doesn't click for me. I can't be really honest about who I am. And I was sitting there and I'm listening to what this lady's talking about and it occurs to me that I'm not, I'm always saying I can't find my why. I don't have my why. I don't have that thing. I just don't have anything I can put my finger on in any category. And I thought about it and I just thought, because I don't feel like I excel at any one thing, like I'm not great at anything. So I feel like I just have to do lots. I just feel like I have to do more. I have to do more charity work. I have to do more church work. I have to do more family work. I have to do, I have to commit to more because I don't have that thing that's great, And I'm not a great coach. I'm a good coach. So I just need to do more for other people in coaching. I'm not a great, you know what I mean. And, but that was so big for me to identify, what is that driving? Why am I willing to make myself crazy doing stuff, whether I'm serving others or not, that doesn't mean I have any business doing it. And that was really why I finally just said I'm going to do the retreat because I've got to figure out how to do things that are bringing me joy or adding value, you know, and it's something you've been preaching for years. If it's not adding to my family, if it's not adding to my personal priorities, I have no business doing it.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if it's the right thing to do. Like, I don't have any business doing it. And so I have been hearing you all these years. It's just finally starting to click.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was really timely for, you know, kicking off this retreat and kind of having that little epiphany today that, you know, what's pushing me to do that? Because now that I see it, I can address
Yeah.
it more honestly
Yeah.
and not need to like mask it.
No, Christy, I mean, I think that's a great point. And I was telling them at the beginning of this that, I mean, we're doers, right? We're just doers. And we've got to, the whole point of this is to slow down.
Yeah.
The whole point, and we have got to start being, just being human beings and not doing. Is that, I thought that was your hand at first. I was like, that is so awkward. But you know, and until Christy, we decide that, hey, we're going to slow down. I'm going to say no. I can't be everything to everybody. You know, and I'm not saying you're trying to be everything to everybody, but like you said, you're spreading yourself in a million different places because you don't feel like you excel at one thing. And I mean, that's just because you haven't slowed down enough to be still and find out what it is.
Yeah.
You know? So, and here's another thing that really got me is that I was doing all this work. And one of the reasons why I told myself I was going to slow down in 2015, because I was hearing my kids, but never once was I able to stop, stare at them in the face, and really listen, because my mind was always somewhere else. And that one night my husband goes, Erica, you need to put the phone down or get work out of your brain. He's like, you need to be in here with us or go into your office and work. Right. And when he said that, I was like, man, I'm just doing something, cooking, but I want to be to the point where I can put something down and say, I'm listening.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my turning point. And, you know, so I get what you're saying, Christy. I resonate with that so much. And I'm glad that you're reading that book or listening to that book.
What book is it?
Present Over Perfect. It's a Christian author.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Christy.
Yeah.
You want one more thing to your to-do list? You want to post that book on our Facebook page?
I sure will. I'll screenshot my Audible because I don't have time to read actual paper.
Heck yeah. That's the easy way to do it. Well, thanks for sharing, guys. This was great. Christy, thank you so much for coming clean about your addiction of doing.
Fluttering.
And I'm not sure if you heard, Christy, but I wrote kind of like a little outline of telling your story, and it is really up to you how much information you want to give, or even if you want to share that with us. But the outline is just to jog your brain. You can write bits and pieces of it, whatever. So don't stress about that. All right?
Yep. They're just weird. They've been in the car all day.
Well, yeah, y'all get out of the car. Does anybody else have any questions? Stories?
Good.
Well, thank you so much for participating tonight, you guys. And if you got just one little good nugget of information, then it was a success.
Absolutely.
So I will see you guys on the Facebook, huh?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Have a great night. Get some rest.
Okay.
Bye.
Y'all too.
Bye.